I want to give you the most sovereign reframe I have ever offered on this channel. And I need you to stay with me through the first layer of resistance it's going to produce. Because that resistance, that immediate defense contraction when the idea first lands, is actually the most important data point in this entire conversation. Here is the reframe. When you feel drained by someone, it is not caused by what they are doing, it is caused by your perception of what they are doing. Stay with me. I know the resistance is already running, because we have built an entire internal vocabulary around the idea of people who drain us. We have named them precisely. We have categorized for them energy vampires, emotional dumpers, chronic takers, people who are simply too much and leave us consistently hollow after every encounter. And the drain feels undeniable, real. The exhaustion is measurable. The depletion is specific. The pattern is so consistent you can predict it before the conversation even begins. Surely something that predictable and that physical must be caused by something external. Surely the evidence is their behavior. But here is the question I want you to sit inside honestly. Have you ever been in an exceptionally regulated state, genuinely rested, genuinely at peace, genuinely settled in your own interior, and encountered that some person who usually drains you? And was the drain identical? Was the exhaustion the same precise weight? Almost every honest answer to that question reveals the same uncomfortable truth. The person was the same, the drain was different, because the drain was never generated by their behavior. It was generated by the state your nervous system was in when it processed their behavior. This is the distinction that changes everything. Two people can sit in the exact same conversation with the exact same human doing the exact same things. One walks away energized, one walks away hollow. Same interaction, completely different internal report. The variable was never the person in the middle. The variable was the filter each nervous system ran the interaction through. Your filter built from every previous experience, every unresolved pattern, every story your system learned to run about certain types of behavior, is the actual generator of the drain. Not their words, not their energy, not their personality, your perception of all three. Now I need to be precise here, because this reframe is not what it might initially appear to be. This is not me telling you that difficult people don't exist. They do. This is not me telling you that certain behaviors aren't genuinely harmful. They can be. This is not spiritual bypassing, dressed in psychological language. This is something far more practical, powerful than any of that. This is me telling you that the drain, the specific exhaustion, the particular depletion, the measurable energy cost of certain interactions lives at the perception layer, and the perception layer is inside you, which means, unlike the other person's behavior, which you cannot control, cannot change, and cannot reliably predict, the perception layer is completely accessible to you. You have zero sovereign access to what they do. You have complete sovereign access to the filter running the story about what they do. I look at the data of this channel and I see 178 subscribers, 82,000 views on YouTube, 190,000 on TikTok, 24 people who found the free reset, one who walked the complete path. The gap between 190,000 and 24 is not a gap of courage. It is a gap of perception. Most people watching this content feel the recognition and then their filter immediately runs a story about change being dangerous, about this being too much work, about it being easier to manage the external person than to examine the internal perception. That story is the filter protecting itself, because filters don't want to be examined. Examined filters have to update, and updating means the familiar drain, which at least has a predictable shape, gets replaced by something the nervous system hasn't mapped yet. But here is what I know from the ones who committed to the complete recalibration. When the filter updates, the drain doesn't just decrease, the entire quality of your relational world changes, not because your perception running every interaction change, and changed perception change everything. What you notice, what you select, what you allow, what you walk away from, and you stay inside. The mirror practice is architecture for examining and updating the perception layer directly, not talking about it, not understanding it intellectually, accessing it at the biological level where it actually lives and runs. The reset is free, 1 minute of direct contact with your own filter. The full practice is €19. Every person who has ever joined you was showing you something specific about your filter, so you just kept looking at them instead of the mirror. Job filter in the comments if this reframe landed somewhere real. I am Tudor. I examine the filter. I'll see you inside.